This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Well, hello and welcome along to a special episode of Chasing the Dollar brought to you by Sportingbet. Ben Damon is my name, joined by Adam Pengilly. And Adam, we're looking at Wentworth Park and also some big racing at the Meadows.
Hello, Ben. Yeah, massive night of racing at the Meadows on Saturday night with 4 semi-finals of the Group 1 Maturity Classic. Also looking forward to Wentworth Park with a couple of handy races in the quaddie, and we'll try and find a few winners for all those punters out there.
Yeah, some very good dogs going around at the Meadows. We'll get to that second of all, but we'll kick it off with Wentworth Park this Saturday night. And let's have a look at the first leg of the quaddie. And the stayers go around here over the 720 metres. You go on the inside.
You're going to go with Tiffy for me, Ben. Really keen on her on Saturday night. She was pretty good over the 720 metres at the same track last weekend when absolutely burnt out of the boxes and gave nothing else a chance. That was in stark contrast to the week before when she led and then weakened really badly out of the race. I think with last week's experience and a wide runner outside her in Desiderata, I think she gets all the breaks here. If she can land on the bunny, she'll give them all something to catch and might present a little bit of value. So I'm really keen on Tiffy for me in the stayers race. Going to throw in Bronny Anna for second, another with plenty of early dash who'll show out and be stalking Tiffy for me into the first turn. I'm just not quite sure she can beat that greyhound. So Bronte Anna goes in for second. Gradance for third. A little bit disappointing last week when got caught well back in the field. I'm going to throw in Agent Ace for fourth. Another one for your wider multiples.
Let's look at race number 6 at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. And Adam, you found us a little bit of value here, you think?
Yeah, hoping we can lock in a price band for Corborn Classy on Saturday night. She was pretty good off a wide alley last week, absolutely sped to the lead. And from the pink on Saturday night, I think she can probably easily cross the 2 greyhounds stationed on her inside. If she can get near the bunny somewhere, I think if she's got enough petrol in the tank late, I think she's a very good betting proposition on Saturday night. So happy to make Corborn Classy my top pick. Boyana, I'd imagine on the strength of last week's effort, will probably start favourite. Drawn to scoot down the middle of the truck and is obviously the big danger in the race. Going to throw in Where's Wob for third. Now, on his day, he's capable of pinching this off the inside alley. I'm just not sure he's jumping cleanly enough at the moment. And going to throw in Calm Model for fourth. Looks the best of the rest, but we'll stick with Corborn Classy in a pretty wide open race.
That takes us to race number 7, the third leg of the quaddie. Now, this is a pretty open race. I don't even know where you'd find the favourite here, Adam.
Yeah, I probably think Satchmo's Henke might be the favourite, Ben. We're going to lean towards Donato off the inside draw. Purely, I think the box 1 draw is going to do him a lot of favours. He's not the cleanest beginner going around, but if he can muscle his way through along the rails and be prominent going into the first turn, he's got a huge motor late. So I think he's going to be my on-top selection and might present a little bit of value as well. Satchmo's Henke only fell in last week after absolutely humming out of the boxes. Obviously, the big danger. Again, drawn to scoot down the middle of the track and be prominent. But I'm just going to lean towards Donato on the strength of his powerful finishing bursts. Going to include Corborn Hitman for third. Been tardy away from the boxes the last few starts, but should be rattling home late. And Trapper Jet is well down in grade and could surprise with some solid form behind Zipping Willow and Free Will in some recent tougher races.
And the final leg of the quaddie is race number 8. Now, a couple of the greyhounds going around here are on the quick backup. They went around 2 of them, in fact, at Gosford on Tuesday night. You find one of those near the top?
Yeah, Ronray Flyer and Shanghai Rosebell going to my top 3, but I'm just leaning towards Media Band in this race off the suitable inside draw in box 3. He's got plenty of early dash and a lot of these evenly matched 5th grade fields. I think that's crucial, to tell you the truth. And I think Media Band could be pushing up towards the lead early and might just have enough in the tank to win like he did last week. So I'm going to make Media Band my top pick. Ronray Flyer made a super return at Gosford on Tuesday night after a lengthy layoff. She's more than capable on her day. Condition just gave out a little bit on Tuesday night. She'll be fitter for the run and is obviously the big danger. Going to include Shanghai Rose for third. Came through that same program at Gosford on Tuesday night and can surprise. And just going to throw in Royal Fringe for fourth. It can be a bit hard to catch sometimes, but will definitely be suited from box 1 and is a place chance.
All right, Adam, time to get your best bet on the program for Wentworth Park.
Going to go with race 9, number 7, Zipping April. Ben, I've been keeping tabs on this pup after a dramatic debut in the Magic Maiden Series when she got shunted off the track at the first turn in the heats. She's looked good at the Gardens the last couple of starts, and even though she comes up against a couple of smart ones on Saturday night, I think she can get the cash.
Okay, and what about some value?
Yeah, like we mentioned before, Corborn Classy's drawn pretty well out wide on the track. I think she can speed towards the lead and hopefully get the job done for us at some sort of price.
Okay, take us through the quaddie at Wentworth Park.
Going to go with Tiffy for me, Bronte Anna and Gradance in the staying race, Ben. Going to include Corborn Classy, Boyana and Where's Wob in the second leg. Just going to go 2 out in the third leg with Donato and Satchmo's Henke. And if we're still alive, we'll be cheering on Media Band, Ronray Flyer and Shanghai Rose in the last leg.
Well, on this extended edition of Chasing the Dollar, we're going to have a look at the big racing at the Meadows in Victoria on Saturday night. They have the semi-finals of the Maturity, some of the best greyhounds in the country going around here. We'll have a look at the quaddie legs with Adam Pengilly, and it kicks off with race number 5. Some good ones going around here, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic race, Ben. It's probably hard to see the winner coming from outside the top 2 in the market in Black Magic Opal and Schroeder Bale. I'm going to lean towards Black Magic Opal, to tell you the truth. Banjo Boy will also be well found in the market, but I think he's horribly drawn between those two genuine speedsters in the middle of the track. I think Black Magic Opal's only been beaten once in Victoria under Jason Thompson's care. I think that was his first start at the Meadows last week, and I think he's going to derive improvement from that, from a 30.08 run on a slow track, which is pretty respectable. I think if he can stalk Schroeder Bale into the back or even lead him, I think he's definitely the top pick in the race for me. So I'm going to go with Black Magic Opal. Schroeder Bale's obviously the big danger. Was absolutely fantastic last week. Went into overdrive on the home turn, and if you do remember, did beat Black Magic Opal in a semi-final of the Peter Mossman Classic a few starts back when that other greyhound bungled the start. I just think Black Magic Opal might have a little bit more improvement left in him, so he's going to be the top pick. A couple of other roughies are Marcus Joe and Set Sail South. Marcus Joe will be humming towards the lead early, and wouldn't surprise him to actually see him land on the bunny. And Set Sail South will drop out the back from a wide draw, but will come rattling home late. But definitely the top 2 in the market are the 2 deserved favourites.
Well, that takes us to the second leg of the quaddie in the Maturity semi-finals, and we've got a very good dog going around here, Dinah Nayland. Paul Stewart's the trainer. He's had some very handy greyhounds in recent times. Does it win?
I think it does, Ben, to tell you the truth. I was super impressed with Dinah Nayland last week. I know the Victorians have a really strong hand in this series, but I think Dinah Nayland's a live chance to win this series, and in pre-post betting, I think it's at a fantastic price. This race is obviously going to be a lot tougher than what performance he put in the heats last week when he won in best of the night time, but I think the box draw is not too bad for him. He's drawn underneath a wide runner in Dark Warrior, who he beat in the heats last week. If he can run anywhere near the 29.89 he ran last week, I think he's a huge chance of winning this semi-final, and if he draws a box in the final, he's a massive chance in my opinion. I think Iona 7 is going to be the big danger for mine, Ben. I think he's going to go around at huge odds as well, to tell you the truth. He was outstanding throughout the Peter Mossman series. He beat Poor Licking 2 starts back. And if you have a look at his heat, he actually took a little bit of ground off Black Magic Opal over the final stages. Was probably never going to win that race, but it was definitely a huge run from Iona 7. And at some sort of price, happy to back him each way. Just going to include Veyron Bale for 3rd off the inside alley. And Hawk Alone's another one for your multiples, and is a live chance to qualify for the final.
Well, that takes us to the 3rd of the semi-finals of the Maturity at the Meadows, and this is an absolutely cracking race. Have a look at this field there. It's value all over the track as well. They're going to find a tough time in making a favourite here because there's quality all over the field. Where are you going?
You wouldn't be disappointed, Ben, if this was the Group 1 final, to tell you the truth. I'm going to go with Xylia Allen here. There's speed drawn absolutely all across the track, and funnily enough, she's probably the only greyhound in the field that doesn't usually show that electric pace. But I think she's going to be way over the odds here, and with her credentials, I'm happy to make her my top pick. She's drawn alongside Heidi Go Seeker, who's probably the other slower beginner in the race. But I think if Xylia Allen can be anywhere within touching distance down the back straight, her track now suggests she's capable of threading through the field. She's a Group 1 winner a few starts back, and at a massive price, I think Xylia Allen's a fantastic bet in this race. I'm happy to make her my top pick. Tomac Bale's the other big danger from the outside alley. He absolutely speared the lids last week in the heats last week and was super impressive. He's unbeaten off the pink, has a super record at the Meadows. He's obviously the big danger. He'll do well to cross some of these, but if he can, he's going to be a huge chance of winning. Quiz Bale has a ton of early speed and is a dynamite off the inside boxes, and is another place chance. And just going to throw in Blaster for 4th. Had all the favours last week and is again drawn near the rails, which suits.
Well, that takes us to the 4th and final semi-final of the Maturity. It is the final leg of the quaddie as well. It probably looks to be a race on 2 in terms of the market anyway. Alan Makoto from the 1, Paul Licking from the 7. Do you find one of those 2 on top?
Yeah, I do, Ben. Much like the first semi-final, it's hard to see the winner coming from outside the top 2. I'm just going to go with Paul Licking here. I think he was fantastic last week and probably has a little bit more early dash than Alan Makoto. He tends to step a little bit right at box rise as well, so being drawn out in box 7 a little bit wider on the track. I think the Traralgon Cup winner can be suited from that draw and is a definite chance of winning this race, and probably a chance to win the series as well, to tell you the truth. So Paul Licking's going to be my on-top selection. Alan Makoto got an absolutely charmed run last week in the heats. He's probably have to step a little bit cleaner if he's going to challenge Paul Licking in this semi-final, but he's definitely not without a chance, and at the very least should be qualifying for the final. So off box 1, he's not a bad betting proposition either. Crump had to shoulder his way through the first turn last week and is unbeaten at the Meadows and can surprise on his day. He's a rough chance of making the final, and I've thrown in Carissa's Voice for 4th, who ran a massive race at odds last week. The draw will again suit her early pace, but this is a much tougher assignment.
Okay, well, that's Adam's look at the 4 races, the semi-finals of the maturity. Now let's have a look at your quaddie.
Just going to go with Black Magic Opal and Schroeder Bale in the first leg, Ben, the obvious top 2 selections. Going to keep the second leg trim with Dinah Nayland and Iona 7. Now, the third leg is a wide open affair, so make sure you get these numbers down. I've gone for number 2, Blaster, number 3, Quiz Bale, number 5, Xylee Allen, number 7, Ride the Rails, and number 8, Termac Bale. And after all that, we've still managed to not find a spot for Hoover Jack. And the fourth leg will come home with Paul King and Alan Makoto.
Okay, well, it's been a busy one for Adam doing all that form. Thanks for joining us. Now, good luck on Saturday night, a big night of greyhound racing.
Yeah, huge night at the Meadows, in particular, Ben, on Saturday night. It was fantastic to see all the big guns make it through to the semi-finals and shapes up as a massive final next Saturday night as well.
Yeah, happy punting on Saturday night. We'll see you next time on Chasing the Dollar.
This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.